Welcome to today's edition of Marriage Motivation. Our love verse for today is coming from the book of Numbers, chapter 16, verse 13. And it says, "Is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, that you should keep acting like a prince over us?" Have you ever seen those Burlington Coat Factory commercials where one lady comes up and says, I bought this dress for $100. And then the other lady says, well, I bought this dress and these shoes and this purse and an outfit for my daughter for $100. It's what I call a topper, someone who's always trying to outdo the other person. Maybe you know someone that's like that. Well, in this story, in the book of Numbers, Korah and his men, they are jealous of Moses, and actually they come against him and they're trying to top him. Actually, they say, listen, Moses, you try to be a prince over us and you brought us out of a land flowing with milk and honey. Wait a minute, a land flowing with milk and honey? Didn't you cry out to God to be delivered from Egypt? Isn't it amazing how soon we forget how bad things are? Sometimes we always say the grass is always greener on the other side. And so Korah and his men, they forgot how bad it was, and they were jealous that Moses was now in this position. So they decided that they were going to top him, and they were going to give incense and offer sacrifice to God. And God rejected their offering, and eventually he ended up killing him and all of his men. And so we have to be aware of this in our relationship, how sometimes we can incite jealousy and envy in our spouse with some of the things that we say. We can say, wow, would you look at John? You see how much time he spends doing his lawn? Or you see how Betty cooks for her husband? And you can incite and provoke your spouse to jealousy. And that's what happened with Korah. They were jealous of Moses, and eventually that jealousy led to a destruction of the relationship that they had. So I want to encourage you today to not provoke your spouse to jealousy by saying something that they ought to do like some other person. Like, you ought to spend more time with the kids like Mr. Johnson does, or like my pastor does. You don't want to do that. You want to encourage them and to motivate them, because otherwise they will resent you and then even start resenting the person that you compared them to. So let me give you a tip here. Let's try doing what I call a sandwich. Is first to compliment or to appreciate your spouse for something that you already really admire that they're doing. And then what you want to do is whatever you want them to improve in, you want to say that next. And then go back to appreciating them for what they've already done. And a way to motivate people is to find out what they like to do, what motivates them. Are they a person who likes to be very productive? They have their thrill and joy comes from the production, or are they people who like to connect? And so they really enjoy connecting with people. And whatever that is, then you begin to motivate them based on that level of direction. So let's say if my wife wanted me to get the lawn better, like Mr. Johnson next door. So what she might say is, honey, sweet, I really appreciate how you work so hard in the home and you take care of us. So she showed me her appreciation in the area. And then she wouldn't compare me to Mr. Johnson, because she knows that's not a good thing. But she might say, and I know that you really want our lawn to look good, and I really would like that to happen, and I know you can study and you can find a way to make our lawn look really nice. So she's encouraging me to be productive, okay? And then she would go back to appreciating me. Now, if I was a person who was a connecting person, she might say, well, sweetheart, she'd do the appreciation, but then the connection would come where she would say, well, do you know if any of our friends have a really nice lawn, maybe you could have them over and they could help you get our lawn really nice. Okay, so she's getting me to connect, but then still again appreciating me for what I already do. All right? So don't provoke your spouse to anger and to jealousy by comparing them with someone else, but encourage and motivate them to be the best they can be. We pray today for peace in your home. We pray for prosperity in your life, and we pray for passion in your marriage. Let me know your thoughts today about what you need to do to motivate and encourage one another. God bless you.